Hi, welcome back to Driven, guys. Alright, let me ask our two gentlemen here. Apart from good looks, great power delivery, low fuel consumption, lots of horses, and attractive price tags, what else do you look for in a car?
Well, I think you've covered it all, bro. I mean, auntie, you know what I mean.
Well, I tell you what, I think for me, being a family man, the most important part of it is the safety feature of every car that we look at.
Correct, Shaz. You know, we have to be frank about this. A lot of Malaysian cars have been given a lot of flack about this.
Yeah, and some of our cars were even called tin cans. And who can forget a certain old motoring journalist who bashed one of our cars to a pulp?
Well, I guess all of that may change
With Malaysia taking a step in the right direction when it comes to safety.
In the name of safety, automakers continue to develop basic life-saving features, including airbags, anti-lock braking systems or ABS, and Electronic Stability Program or ESP.
But here's the reality check. Features such as the SRS airbag, also known as a supplementary restraint system, are just that, supplementary. In the end, once an accident happens, life or death may hinge on the vehicle's structure. The crash test studies how a particular vehicle will react to various kinds of impacts at different speeds.
Major automakers around the world usually perform tests at their own facilities. Occasionally, with the assistance of independent organizations such as the European New Car Assessment Program or Euro NCAP. Data collected from these tests allow safety ratings to be awarded to cars, so consumers like you and me will know how safe the car really is.
Local automakers like Proton recently performed crash tests on its Zora in Italy. But how much longer can Malaysian automakers rely on overseas crash test facilities?
Well, the Malaysian Institute of Road Safety Research or MIROS might just have the answer. They've just recently conducted Malaysia's very first outdoor passenger vehicle crash test at the Malaysian Institute of Aviation Technology in Dengkil, Selangor.
We are merely 3 years old, but we need to grow fast because road safety is a very serious and critical issue in the country. We have 6,500 people dying every year. So the crash test that we had is one testimony that we are able to realize that potential.
The inaugural test involved a Perodua Alza, which was crashed at 30 km per hour against an underrun fitted at the back of a stationary trailer. A peculiar test, but very valid indeed. Malaysian studies show a significant number of road accidents are caused by passenger vehicles hitting stalled trailers on highways.
Within that design framework, we then came up with a car crashing behind a lorry, and we wanted to show the benefit of having an underrun.
MIROS also awards the Malaysian Vehicle Assessment Program or MyVAP to vehicles that conform to MIROS safety standards.
We feel in order for the car industry in Malaysia to be at par with the international players, we introduced MyVAP. Okay? But the difference between MyVAP and NCAP, MyVAP only uses secondary data. We actually refer to the manufacturer's record on the crash test that they did overseas.
It's already awarded both the Proton Zora and Perodua Alza a 4 out of 5 star ratings, but there's still room for skepticism, as MIROS admits the ratings were awarded from secondary data. In the case of the Zora, the crash test data from Italy was used as the primary source. The question now is, does MyVAP reach international or NCAP standards?
If the crash test was for NCAP similar requirement, of course it is not sufficient. It is not for NCAP purposes.
Well, I guess Malaysia has to start somewhere. Fortunately, MIROS is aware of its shortcomings and that its facilities must improve in order to be world-class.
Hopefully, when our own crash test facilities are up, and therefore MyVAP will be able to be independent of data from other side.
Part of MIROS's efforts is to launch its own purpose-built crash test facility in Malacca that fulfills the highest standards.
A lot of our manufacturers around the region has to go very far. So by having one around here, we would be able to definitely save costs. We do not want people to belittle Malaysian cars because it does not have safety features. Okay, that is our ultimate aim.
Driven's conclusion? Well, we believe there shouldn't be anything makeshift, especially when it comes to Malaysian safety. It looks like MIROS does have a long journey ahead. But with big dreams to make Malaysia a crash test hub in ASEAN, we've got to start somewhere. As long as MIROS is transparent with its policies, standards and results, slow and steady wins the race.
When the government replaced RON 92 with RON 95 last year, there was an outcry. The new grade was 5 cents a litre more expensive than RON 92, and it's now sold alongside the even pricier RON 97. But what is the difference between them? RON, or Research Octane Number, is actually a measure of the fuel's anti-knock performance. Knocking is when petrol in an engine ignites wrongly and the engine misfires. Obviously, this is not good for the engine. If your car is rated for RON 95, then you can use RON 95 without worrying. If your car is rated for RON 97, then you should use RON 97. To know which one you need, read your car manual. Or you can wait until you hear your engine making funny knocking noises and you realize that it's getting damaged. It's your choice. Most cars sold in Malaysia are able to run on RON 95. It's those rich fellows with the high-performance cars that strictly require RON 97. So, what makes one petrol better than another? It is not the RON number. A car that can use RON 95 will not run better if it runs on RON 97. You'll just be spending more money. It's additives that make the difference. For example, a certain German company makes one called Fuel Booster that contains active compounds that help clean the engine's intake system and reduces sludge. Different petrols use different amounts of different additives. Some petrol companies add twice the minimum amount of fuel booster they need to their petrol, even though they can't sell it at a higher price. They do so because they believe that drivers will be able to tell the difference in quality. So, at the end of the day, most drivers in Malaysia should be able to use RON 95 and won't see improvements with RON 97. What does make the difference are the additives. So, choose wisely. Coming up, an exclusive on Ford's latest offering for the young and the young at heart.